How's it going, everyone? It's Harvey from Mother Sponge 5000. Today is March 31st, 2021, and today we're going to obviously focus on the major Northeast snowstorm that's going to happen later tonight and into tomorrow, as well as a potential severe wind threat in the southeast for today and the potential wind threat in the northeast. But before I begin, make sure to subscribe. If you want to see more weather content, make sure to like if you like this video. Make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather content. So let's begin by taking a look at the radar right now, and you see that there's an extending land of rain extending from the northeast all the way as far to the south and west as Louisiana has. Obviously, there's this frontal boundary moving through the United States. There's this cold front moving through, and as a result, we're seeing a decent amount of unstable air in this region to force a lot of that water vapor up along this frontal boundary, and we're seeing a lot of precipitation as a result of that. And some of these storms could be severe. So like if we take a look in the southeast, we do see a pretty large squall line of thunderstorms moving through the area, and it seems to be especially severe closer to southwestern Alabama, right around Camden, Alabama, and extending to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, where we are seeing severe weather within these thunderstorms, and this extends to Montgomery as well. And while it is less severe, a little bit more northward, as the convective available potential energy is a little less, there's still a lot of thunderstorm activity occurring within this region, and we're seeing scattered thunderstorms throughout the Carolinas as well. So it is a pretty large band of thunderstorms, and it's extending to even Washington DC and Baltimore as well, and bringing some rain to my area here in New Jersey. So there's a pretty large band of rain. It isn't going to dump a ton of rain because these squall lines are going to move very quickly. However, if you're within the Atlanta area, Alabama, middle of Alabama, and Mississippi, you could see heavy rainfall rates at times. So be aware of flash flooding, because it's certainly a possibility in those areas. While the rain won't last entirely long, it's still gonna bring a lot of rain at a very fast rate, which could induce some flash flooding. So keep a close eye on that. But if we take a look at the temperatures throughout the United States as of right now, and you clearly could see the stark contrast when it comes to temperature and just the amount of unstable air in this region. The air is very unstable, where I'd say just south of Georgia, you're in the 80s right now. 85 in Jacksonville, 80 in Charleston, South Carolina. However, if you go just a couple miles to the north, you're already in the upper 50s. So that's a stark contrast, and it's just pretty much asking for thunderstorm activity, since the air molecules are going to be very buoyant because of this stark contrast between the temperatures. So we're seeing a lot of thunderstorm activity as a result of this. And as it moves further eastward, we're going to see another band, or we're going to see a new low pressure system form, and it's going to be the low pressure system that will eventually form the snowstorm in the northeast. So if we take a look at the radar, if we take a look at the current radar right now, you might think that, the rain showers should move out to sea eventually. However, if you're in the northeast, don't be fooled, because some of these thunderstorms that you're seeing right now in the southeast will eventually move further northward, and a new low pressure system will form. And as a result, we're going to see precipitation again, a second round of precipitation in the form of snow and a little bit of rain in the northeast that will create a new low pressure system, and we're going to see snow and rain throughout the East Coast. So keep a close eye on that. Do not think that this is going to be over, because we're just in the beginning when it comes to precipitation in the Northeast. But to show you guys this, let's take a look at the GFS model. You see this is about where we're at right now. I'd say the rain showers are a little bit further eastward as of right now, but it's pretty much around the ballpark. The forecast run is pretty much right around the ballpark of where the precipitation is at right now. However, if we move forward, you're going to see that there's going to be a new low pressure system that forms, and another round of precipitation on the backside of this rain line. And you're going to see that as this second round moves northward, it's going to change over the snow, because there's just going to be just enough cold air induced by this jet stream to bring precipitation in the form of snow throughout Pennsylvania and this will extend to upstate New York and the northern portions of New England, especially in the higher elevations of, let's say, Vermont or the Adirondacks in upstate New York. So we could see potentially a major snowstorm threat for you guys, especially closer to upstate New York. While compared to yesterday's run, the snowfall forecast is a little less in some areas, such as Pennsylvania, because the consensus yesterday was around the 3 to 6 inch category, maybe over 6 inches in some areas. But now the consensus has shifted with the computer models from a forecast from 3 to 6 inches to more like 1 to 3 in Pennsylvania. But the 3 to 6 and over 6 inches of snow category in upstate New York still remains. So this will still be considered a pretty major snowstorm for you guys in upstate New York, especially for the month of March, pretty much entering April by tomorrow. So this will be something you guys need to watch about the interior Northeast. It's going to be very snowy. And obviously precipitation is something to watch as well, because this rain won't necessarily be light either. I won't say it's going to be a major rain event for the Northeast. However, it still could dump around an inch of rain, an inch or two, which is enough in certain rivers that are already high from previous rainstorms to overtop its banks. 1 inch isn't something that's completely doesn't bring effects, because 1 inch of rain is definitely something you need to at least be aware of, because it certainly could cause flooding in certain rivers. But you see that there's going to be quite a bit of rain, quite a bit of snow through the Northeast, and the European model does agree with it for the most part, and it's pretty much certain that we're going to see some snow in the interior portions of the Northeast. So if you're hoping that the forecast shifts to where it's going to be an all rain event, I wouldn't hope for that, and pretty much it's guaranteed it's not going to be an all rain event for a lot of the interior Northeast, such as portions of Pennsylvania and a lot of upstate New York. And as for the East Coast cities, I know yesterday I was talking about there's that slight possibility that maybe the snow could extend further eastward, but I'd say it's almost no chance we're going to see the snow move further eastward. Now the computer models are favoring a little bit less of a large snow swath than before today than before. So as a result, it's unlikely that the cold air will move just far enough to the west and the low pressures will move just far to the east, to bring snow to the coastal cities. So it's primarily going to be an all rain event for Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., New York City, and Boston, that Interstate 95 corridor cities. So if you're hoping for one last snow event, this it's pretty much guaranteed this won't be it, but it will certainly bring rain in those areas, right around an inch of rain. So keep a close eye on that. And in terms of how much snow you should expect from this snowstorm, you see a large area of 1 to 3, which extends to West Virginia, the extreme western portions of eastern portions of Ohio. A lot of Pennsylvania will be under 1 to 3 inches. However, I will put a disclaimer that I'd say I may have over exaggerated the 1 to 3 inch snowfall rain distance a little bit, or area a little bit. I apologize for not updating it, but I'd say the snow swamp will be a little bit more exclusive to central Pennsylvania rather than moving a little bit further eastward to the point where it's close to New Jersey and Philadelphia. I'd say the 1 to 3 inch category will be right around central Pennsylvania, and outside that, I'd expect no snowfall accumulation. And then just north of that, you should expect 3 to 6 inches, which includes Albany, New York. Portions of Syracuse need to keep a close eye on this, and the Adirondack should still receive over 6 inches of snow. I'd say on the lower end, more likely 6 to 8, but I'd put the 6 to 12 inch category just in case those localized areas do get a little bit more snow. And the snow is now the computer models are favoring more snow to Maine, so keep that in mind if you're in northwestern Maine, where you could see now close to or over 6 inches of snow in localized areas. So this could be a major snowfall that for a lot of you guys. Make sure to prepare in the east, along the east coast and northeast. And as for the coastal cities, at least prepare for some rain Thursday. And if you live in an area if you live in a nearby river that is close to overtopping its banks, you may at least want to be aware that it's going to rain an inch. So just be aware that maybe in some rivers there could be that slight possibility of some flooding, or that the river could rise. And even if it doesn't flood, it's at least good to be aware of when when rivers fluctuate, because it gives pretty much a good warning of how much rain could this river take before it begins flooding and impacting your neighborhood. So it's at least good to keep in mind when rivers fluctuate. And obviously just south of this snow, you're going to see a decent severe weather threat, a moderate severe weather threat. There's going to be, like I said, if we take a look at temperatures, there's going to be just enough unstable air to induce some severe weather. If you take a look at the current convective outlook from the National Weather Service, you see that overall there's a slight chance of thunderstorm activity throughout North Carolina, South Carolina, which includes Columbia, South Carolina, extending to Georgia, Alabama, which includes places like Mobile, Alabama, and Pensacola, Florida. And we're also seeing the severe weather extend further down along the Gulf Coast of Mississippi. So we could see a decent severe weather chance. I don't expect it and this to be much of a tornado threat at all. As I expect, the main threat will be damaging winds and potentially small hail in some areas where the updrafts are very strong and where there's a lot of buoyancy. If we take a look at the convective available potential energy, you're going to see that there's going to be just enough for some severe weather in the southeast. So it's definitely something you want to at least be aware of in the southeast. There's going to be a decent severe weather threat. Taking a look at the convective available potential energy, there's going to be just enough for some severe weather. You see the grays, which represent a decent amount of convective available potential energy. By all means, this isn't going to be major, but at least something to be aware of. Damaging winds, small hail, and tornadoes, and should be the main threat. And tornadoes, I'd say there's little to no chance of a tornado from this severe weather threat, as simply there just isn't enough unstable air or strong divergence in the upper levels of the atmosphere to create very strong wind shear. So as a result, this won't be much of a tornado threat, as damaging winds will be the main issue. But another thing we need to keep in mind is the strong winds are going to be, and the cold air that's going to be behind this low pressure system. And it's definitely important to keep in mind, because strong winds could certainly bring some damage to your home, potentially by having loose things such as garbage cans blow around in the wind, and could bring some small branches down. So you need to at least keep in mind that it's going to be windy. Make sure to bring those loose things you typically have outside indoors, because it's going to be windy headed into late Thursday and even into Friday, because there's going to, like I said, there's going to be a big jet stream dip, a lot of cold and dense air that's going to want to filter in to the center of this low pressure system, and as it does so, it creates wind. If we take a look at how much wind, you should expect around the 33-foot mark, around 10 meters up into elevation. You see that there's going to be a decent amount of wind. You see the darker blues, which represent stronger winds. It isn't a ton of wind. We have seen stronger wind events before, but it's strong enough wind to at least induce sustained winds right around 20 to 30 miles per hour. And I think in some areas, especially along the coast, we could see wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. And I'd say for the most part in the Northeast, 40 mile per hour wind gusts should be expected. So make sure to at least stay prepared for that. Make sure to bring those loose things inside, because you don't want any of your outdoor items, or let's say anything in your home, to get damaged as a result of something that could be easily avoided if you just take those very loose things inside that could easily be blown around in the wind. So make sure to keep that in mind. It's going to be windy Thursday, and yeah, just stay prepared for that, the rain and snow in the Northeast. But anyways, guys, I thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather content. Make sure to like if you like this video. Make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather content. And I hope you guys have a good day, as tomorrow I'm probably going to do an April forecast. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And I thank you guys for watching.